It's another great Saturday morning, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to your weekend dose of news and analysis and current affairs program, The Platform. I am Sam Omashe. Today, we'll examine the presidency's inaction as tenure of the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Walter Onnoghen, draws to an end, and then James Ibori prospective return to Nigeria's political scene. And with me are the editor of The Guardian newspaper, Abraham Ogbodo, and public affairs analyst. You're welcome to this show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back to this show, actually. And Ola-Daniels, a lawyer. And,
thank you.
Public affairs commentator, you're welcome.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we shall start our conversation. Stay tuned. Welcome back. There is a looming constitutional crisis if the appointment of Nigeria's acting Chief Justice Walter Onnoghen is not confirmed before the 10th of January 2017. So we're talking of just a few days from now. This is perhaps the first time an acting Chief Judge will be appointed in Nigeria. And there are concerns in some quarters that the presidency's failure or refusal to forward Onnoghen's name to the National Assembly for confirmation is based on religious and ethnic sentiments. Or are there plans by a group to block the appointment of Onnoghen? Ola-Daniels, what do you say? Look, let's go through what are the legal implications or niceties, let me say, the legal niceties of this issue?
Well, I'll start by using the same provision of the Constitution. That's section 231, subsection 4 and subsection 5. Talks about the appointment of a CJN in Nigeria. How recommendation is to be made by NJC to Mr. President. Our Mr. President is supposed to forward the same name to the Senate for confirmation. It's clear. There's no ambiguity about the provision of the Constitution. Now, some quarters believe that, oh, there's a constitutional crisis. I do not see it, and I will make it clear here. Subsection 5 of Section 231 of the 99 Constitution made it clear. It said, if by the end of 90 days, 30 days, 90, that's 3 months. That's from November 10 to February 10. If by the end of this date is not confirmed as the Chief Judge, the Constitution subsection 5 from the beginning, it said, except by the recommendation of NJC, his office will cease to operate as an active Chief Judge. Meaning, if it's not confirmed by 10th of February, which is just few days,
we will not have a Chief Judge.
Yes, hold on, sir. By 10th, which is just few days to 10th of February, is not confirmed. It said by recommendation, except by recommendation of NJC. It means NJC can still go ahead before that date to recommend Justice Onnoghen.
Can still go.
The president cannot reappoint Justice Onnoghen because his acting capacity will cease by 10th of February, and the provision of the Constitution made it clear that the president cannot reappoint him once the time expires. Once the tenure expires as an acting chief judge. What then happened? From the beginning of that subsection again, it goes back to NJC to recommend. The Constitution did not say NJC cannot recommend him again. So it can be recommended, and the same process can be followed.
Again.
Another 90 days.
No. You see, it's appalling.
No, what will happen if the NJC on the 10th re-recommends Onoge?
Yeah.
We have another 90 days.
Don't let us be fast with, by concluding that we have another 90 days. When
yes, what does the Constitution say?
Thank you. When it's recommended, his name can actually be forwarded to the Senate for confirmation, this time as a substantive chief judge. And don't forget, we have not even, we are not, February 10 is not even here. Yeah. So anything can still happen within these few days. Already, as at yesterday or 2 days ago, the stakeholders meetings trying to see how is even, because as far as I'm concerned, we even have a president at the moment. In the capacity of acting president, that is Professor Yemi Osinbajo. We have a president, so it can as well, we don't have to wait for Mr. President to come in before the name is being forwarded to the Senate. So that can be done. The name can be forwarded to the Senate. Even we still have a few days to confirm that. So we should not conclude yet that, the time has gone or lapsed or is not going to become the substantive.
But we can speculate because the time is so near. Why has it waited all this while? Now, the question is, we need to be clear to the viewers.
Yeah.
You want to explain, at the expiration of this acting term,
yes,
what happens if he is not sent, if his name is not sent to the Senate?
If his name is not sent to the Senate, one, we may have a vacuum, which I do not see it happening, because it's going to be a slap on our institution as a whole. On the contrary, if there is a vacuum in that office, there shouldn't be a vacuum in the first place. There was enough time. 4 weeks were given. 4 weeks before the tenure of Mahmoud expired. 4 weeks. The name was sent to the, to the president. NJC sent his name to the president 4 weeks before Mahmoud's tenure expired. So now, two, what may also happen if the tenure expires and his name not sent to the president, to the Senate? I think what should happen, we should be proactive enough. NJC should be proactive enough. The presidency should be proactive enough. And these people should work together so that a name, if they are not considering him, if they have issues with him, and is not the one they want to make the chief judge, then we should have another name being sent to the president. By now, NJC should be working on that. And president, that's the reason why I said it's very, very possible that the stakeholders are working on this, because Nigeria is not aware of anything other than what we have presently. We are not aware that, there's a new name that has been forwarded to Mr. President for confirmation, to go to Senate for confirmation. We have not heard anything about Onoje not being confirmed. So where we are now, we are at very
in limbo
crossroad. Yes.
Now, is there a possibility of the NJC saying again, now, as this term expires, we still want Onoge as Chief Justice, and then re-recommend him, and then they put him again on another term in acting capacity? Is that possible?
Very, very possible. The Constitution made it clear. The Constitution gave power, he has given NJC power to recommend. That is subsection 5 of section 231. He has given NJC power to recommend any other name. He can recommend Onoge again to Mr. President as the chief judge. But now, on the whether it's the acting capacity or substantive capacity, that now lies with Mr. President and the Senate. NJC cannot do the job of president. They can't confirm Onoje. They can only forward his name. So they would do, the provision is clear. They would do their job. It's now left for Mr. President and Senate to do their job.
Good. Mr. Ogbodo, why do you think all of this is happening?
Well, first, I may not have what it takes to go into the constitutionality of it and all of that. But I want to find out, is that a lacuna in the Constitution that if the president refuses to forward the name and then NJC re-nominates him, then it becomes an endless game of
acting.
acting
to act.
Yes. So is there no place in the Constitution that says that
there's an end to the acting?
The
Constitution probably didn't anticipate that
yes.
After 3 months, you won't have
So why didn't the Constitution envisage this and maybe give the power to the National Assembly to at least override the president? Of course, when there is stalemate in such cases, the National Assembly, simple majority, can override the president.
One thing we must understand, there's no perfect constitution anywhere in the world.
Okay.
We must take cognizance of that. No perfect constitution anywhere in the world. Now, if we're looking at the provision of the and we're looking at lacuna, like I said, this provision of the constitution is clear. It's not ambiguous in any way. But the mischiefs will always speak a hole to work on or to make noise about.
No, what I'm even saying, I'm seeing beyond the presence because already there is some method of some processes in place to amend the Constitution. Concerning, because we should know very well that the judiciary is an arm of government.
Very well.
And then, yes.
Executive, we have the judiciary. So are we going to we have a crisis in the judiciary again?
So, and it is now between the executive and the legislature to determine. And then they are playing this like a table tennis game.
No, it's not. The problem is not in the hands of the legislature. The legislature is just there waiting. Bring the names, they will consider. We cannot consider unless you bring the names.
Now, what I'm saying now is that how does the legislature checkmate the attitude, the disposition of the executive concerning this particular matter?
There's no constitutional.
It's very, you see, it's dicey.
Yes.
It's very, very dicey because the Constitution. Yeah, thank you. Because the Constitution has separated all jobs.
It's not their job.
So, are we saying that, in spite of every other consideration, maybe the NJC in whatever way, in spite of every other consideration, the president can have his way regarding the appointment of a Chief Justice of the Federation?
No.
Because, what do you mean by have
his way? I think we need to.
Because the president apparently is acting in spite of the NJC. In fact, that brings me to the comments of Professor Sage, who was saying that there had to be vettings, there had to be this. I would say, who will do the vetting?
Who will do the vetting?
Is it the presidency that will do the vetting or the NJC?
The NJC has not the vetting.
And
the
president,
so
I don't understand the basis of such comments.
Wait, that's why I was saying that why do we have all these problems? And we are not speculating. What is going on? You have 3 months. In fact, it's not just 3 months. You have 4 months.
Yes.
That the man had given enough notice.
Yes.
You know, we can live with the fact that you will take 2 years to appoint a head of a parastatal. You will take 6 months, or even have more than 6 months to appoint your ministers. But the Chief Justice of the Federation,
I don't understand.
the #1 law officer,
yes,
in the Constitution, is not anywhere in sight. People have come to say, why are you people talking about ethnic or religious motives?
Yeah, because
if you don't feel a vacuum,
of course,
people will feel it for you.
Exactly.
If you don't feel a vacuum, people will feel it for you. That's exactly what is happening.
Yes.
That if you don't feel a vacuum, people will feel it for you.
And it is even more so when the president is doing all of this without reason. He has not said.
He has not said this is where we. That's the question.
Yes.
That's the question. This is where we are.
This is why I'm.
Thank you.
I
said it the other time that we have a major problem, a fundamental problem with us in Nigeria. And that's the fact that we are not informed. Most times we are not informed. And if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. There's no how you can move forward if you are not informed. They don't even tell us anything. If you have anything against Onoje, and you think you are not going to make him the chief judge, tell us.
On the table. Let's see.
Now we have asked questions. People have looked at the past of Onoge. They have said, well, Onoge has no flaw. At least no flaw enough to impugn his integrity as the man at the top of, at the apex of the apex court in the country. That there has been no flaw found. In fact, in the very long piece written by Professor Sagi, he even quoted him as saying that he was one of two dissenting judges who would not yield.
Yes, in Buhari's
case against Yaradua. And he says he was a man of integrity and quoted him copiously about what he said, which means that he, Onoge, is a man of integrity. Is it because he is a Southerner? That's the question people are asking. Yes. Is it because he is a Christian? People are asking that question. Yes. It's not a question that we should ask if the presidency comes out and say, this is where we stand on this matter.
And this is where we stand.
Maybe I should even trip in this. Yes. We know Onoge from his antecedent to be a very credible and very diligent judges, because for your information, 3 judges were considered by NJC, but Onoje topped this, topped the list. Now, the question is, are we looking at 2019? The election coming up? Do we have agenda that, if he becomes the chief judge, he will not take chances? These are things they have given rooms for.
Yes, because of the vacuum.
We want viewers to weigh in on this issue. I mean, they can call in and tell us what they think, because the matter is essentially a serious issue. If Onoge is not given the position, in what way will they now make it acceptable to Nigerians? In what way would they make it acceptable to Nigerians that we are not picking Onoge, we are picking this man, we are picking that man?
No, I think the argument, I go back to Professor Sagi again, the argument was like, you know, this claim to progressivism in the APC, and then they try to equate it with destructivism. That no, we cannot begin to follow a tradition. That how does it look different for something to just flow as if you are on an escalator, that once you join the judiciary at the lowest court, magistrate, you move like that. So you can almost predict it, that if you stay long enough,
rise up to the hierarchy,
exactly,
and must be turn by turn.
Exactly, it's a turn by turn thing. So actually, you break the tradition. Then if you break the tradition, it should be for good reason that you are breaking the tradition.
We have a call from Ijebu. Hello? Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Christian.
Yeah. What do you have to say?
Yeah, my interest in this is, I see a lot of suspicion.
Oh, it looks like we can't really hear him. Yeah, you're talking about that you have to follow the pecking order. You have to move. Yes. You have to move from one stage to the other. And when it's your turn, when you are the most senior person,
yes,
then you are picked as the next chief. Is that what the Constitution says?
Well, no. We have our own laws guiding us. You know, in our profession, we have our ethics, we have our conduct, we have our act, as in to follow suit. Our seniority, we don't joke with seniority, and next in rank will definitely, you know, step in to any office.
Oh, there's another call from Lagos Island. Hello?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're grateful if I can contribute to your discussion.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my point is this. What we've been hearing about the judiciary, you know, in the recent past has shown that there is a lot of corruption.
Yes.
And there is this opportunity for a total clean out. Now, I don't know. The question I want to ask is, what option does the president have if Onogen is found to be unfit? That's one. And how can we exploit this opportunity for a total cleanup of the judiciary? Okay? And the thinking I'm having is that why can't we look at the possibility of bringing in an outsider who we know is untainted, is erudite, is clean, and let him start the process of reform from the beginning again. I mean, it doesn't contradict our requirements that somebody from the South should be the next CJN. We can bring an outsider that is from the South and clean out the judiciary. I mean, the stench that is coming from there is unbefitting of the kind of country we want to build. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, that's a good contribution. The argument has been made by several people that we don't have to have the Chief Justice be the most senior person, you know, in that position, and that we can bring somebody from outside to become the Chief Justice of the Federation. But do you have to take somebody from the outside?
I don't have a problem in washing the judiciary. I don't have a problem in working on them. But the question is, if somebody you make somebody an active chief judge, you find him credible to make him active chief judge. So what has gone wrong in making him a substantive chief judge?
No, but let us even keep with one narrative. In this matter, the NJC has the final say, so to say.
Well, there was one point made, hold on, there's one point made by Secretary that the president has the right to turn down,
yes,
to reject a pick.
But
when you reject it, you give a reason and say, bring another pick.
Yes.
Then,
but you have not done that.
No, let us establish this. Can the president appoint a chief justice of the federation outside the NJC recommendation?
No,
so
he
you
cannot.
now say that the NJC must be taken along
The constitution is
anyhow
clear.
you want to look at
Exactly,
it.
yes.
So we are saying now that if you find Onoge for any reason, if it shows that you are indicting the integrity of the NJC, because they didn't just take...
We have a call from Ghana. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Owefi Yugo from Ghana.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good. To see my brothers at the studio. Actually, what is happening in Nigeria is a source of concern to we, the Nigerian that is outside Nigeria. In a situation things are not going well, it hurts us so great. So what I'm suggesting is that if Nigeria could be one, let's try as much as we can to do things right. Somebody that his tenure is expiring just about 2 days to go, and the presidency didn't see anything right to appoint the person as the chief judge of the federation. That is clear indication that things are not going right. Look at all the processors in Nigeria. It's headed by the Northerners. So I am suggesting that if Buhari wants to do things right, Army should go to Yoruba, Customs should go to Igbo, the other person, so that everything should do as it's supposed. When we want chief judge to go back to the houses, it's clear indication that Hausa want to rule. In that case, when he don't want other people to support him, we should divide Nigeria. Biafra should go, Yoruba should go, or if Yoruba want to match with Hausa, they can match. Yoruba want to match with Igbo, they will match. For us to be peaceful in Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So that is one of the questions people are asking now. That is it that it's trying to get somebody of a certain ethnic group or somebody of a certain religion and so on. But if he comes eventually and he appoints somebody of a south or from the south, if he doesn't get Onoge in and they appoint somebody from the south, that itself will become. Do you think it satisfies anything?
No, that is what I'm going to say. That also is not enough. You must tell us
why Onoge. Why Onoge is not the one.
Make it.
Yes.
It's not enough to say, okay, I substitute one Saturner with another Saturner. It's not enough. You must give reasons.
let us understand that Justice Onoja just came out and he said, "Oh, people, calm down. Don't put pressure on." Yes, no one is putting pressure. If you are proactive enough to do your job, no one will put pressure on you.
He's the one putting pressure on himself.
And I just want Justice Onoja and others that are clamoring for us to soft pedal to understand that it's not about a person, it's not about an individual. We are talking about an institution. It's about the institution we are talking about here. Let's make things right. Let things work. Okay. And not until die minute. That is when I mean, no. We can't continue this way.
Okay, that's interesting. We'll take a short break now, and then we'll be back. Okay, welcome back. We are joined now by Henry Ogunjowo as public affairs commentator.
No, lecturer.
And lecturer at the University of Lagos.
Diplomacy and strategy.
Diplomacy and strategy. Yeah. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we've been discussing the Onoge matter, and then we segue into another interesting and developing issue. The former governor of Delta State, James Onanefe Ibori, is in the news again. He has declared his intention to return to Nigeria's political scene for the good of his people, even as he battles to appeal his conviction in a British court. There are indications that Ibori's conviction was a targeted judicial vendetta sponsored by the Department of International Development. He is still largely influential in Delta State and is believed to have pulled some strings in the political scene from his prison cell in Britain. Now, the question some people are asking is, there might be some cases still pending in Nigeria against Ibori, but as justice goes, has he not suffered enough?
Well, it is a question.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the law does not see it that way. You must pay for whatever you buy. The law is clear. If you have cases against the government or against the people, you must answer for it. If he comes home and there's some pending cases against him, he has to face it. Then don't forget, because people talk about witch hunt and all that. If you go there, if you're guilty, then you face it. You face the music. And if there's no case against you...
There's breaking news now. We're getting breaking news from the Vanguard now that Ibori is back in the country.
Oh, great. Well, like I said, he has said that, the government lied, and EFCC, all of them, they lied against him. Then let him go and defend himself. If there are lies, see, it's just unfortunate. Seriously, personally, I don't see anything coming out from this. Because when you get to court, if you see the charges the prosecution will bring before the table, you will cry for Nigeria. In the end, it may not hold water, and they may not hold anything against Ibori. As far as we are concerned, Ibori, even when it was out there, Ibori made Uduaga. Uduaga was Ibori's cousins. Kowa was commissioner during Ibori.
His acolyte.
Was commissioner during Ibori. When Uduaga came, Kowa was secretary to the government. Yes. Now he became the... So Ibori is still doing his work. Yeah. He's still in politics. Unfortunately for us, he has even made promise. Don't worry, I will come, I will not do anything, I will sit down. It will only take 10 years. It's appalling. Even the Constitution. Section of the Constitution, that is chapter 6 of the Constitution, from section 130 down there. He gave them, to any of political offices, 10 years. That means if you've been guilty, if you've been convicted, after 10 years, you can still come. Oh, no,
okay, Ogunjo, what do you say? We have so many cases in court, so many in Nigeria, so many past governors, senators, political office holders who have had cases with AFCC over these years. Some of them are now in the Senate. Some of them are becoming even they have even settled, you know, dangerously, ominously out of court and so on. Now here is this man who was not only convicted, he was disgraced, he was imprisoned, his wife, his mistress, his family people all went to jail with him. And I know that we're talking of law, we're also talking of justice. Is it not, don't you think that there must be a way to make the law meaningful in terms of justice in matters like this?
I want to submit that apart from law and justice, there's also the moral and ethical aspect of it. I would have just expected that Ibori's return would have been a very quiet one. Just like you said, he had never been out of politics. He had determined practically everything that had happened in Delta State, even beyond. He has always been very, very active. He determines who gets the commissioner position, determines who goes to the Senate. But the truth is, all these cases, we have seen very guilty people who the courts have been unable to declare. And that comes from the argument we just had a few minutes back, that there's a need to clean up the judiciary. Something is wrong. Actually, Ibori was freed from all the 150 plus charges in Nigeria. Only to go to the UK. And it's very unfortunate. And I was privileged to have worked in the UK for 4 years, and I know that they are very meticulous. When you are guilty, they have every evidence against you that you are guilty. It's unfortunate that Ibori is coming and is going to receive a very rousy welcome.
We are hearing that they actually wants to sneak in.
Oh no!
That's what he's trying to do. It seems he has done that now. He has done that now.
Just wait for another 24 hours. You will see the kind of visits that will be coming to his house, all the kind of. You don't be surprised if it goes for Thanksgiving and Sunday.
Can you blame me for the visits? Can you blame me for the visits? It is if. Don't you think it is if he orchestrates a big party and then comes down and starts wearing his cap?
He has enough followers to organize those kind of parties. Yes. The current governor is his boy. The immediate past governor is his cousin, is his boy. All those commissioners got those positions by the legacy and the goodwill of Ibori.
How should they respond to the situation where people want to throw big parties or something? How should they respond?
Well, to me, if you ask, it should be so detached from now.
Shouldn't he make a statement that nobody should make any noise?
He can make the statement, but it's not going to stop people also from appreciating him. After all, some people went to London and then there were declarations. You know, it wasn't as if he was prompting anybody to say this about him and all of that. But people will just be saying things maybe out of appreciation of who he is to them. That is by the way. Then you just mentioned something about the law. I really may not know all the things about the law, but there's something you call double jeopardy. Why should a man suffer twice over for the same offense? Yes, because he was jailed in UK. Is it so much about the sins he committed against the British authorities or
the sin committed
against Nigerian authorities?
Now, I want to add to that question. If he were charged in Nigeria, they will have collapsed those charges with the ones here. And served a comparable term. Yes.
No, thank you. You see, it's clear. Like here in Nigeria, you can't be charged on the same count charge. You can't be sentenced on the same count charge, or you can on the same. No.
But when they sentence, they can make them concurrent.
Very well. Very well. No, we do have concurrent sentences. But now the question is, where was it tried? What are the charges it was tried upon? In UK, what are the charges? Are they the same thing it's been tried for in Nigeria?
Not exactly.
That is the question. No, because exactly. If they are not the same thing, then they should go and answer for that.
Were Nigerians were they not going to also charge him the same things?
No, not exactly.
I asked the question.
Yes, sir.
He went to jail in
The UK.
In the UK.
Yes.
Was it so much for the sins he committed against the Queen of England?
Oh, the sin committed against
Nigeria, the state.
That's the question.
Yeah.
No, there must be a room for the law for things like this. I remember Gani used to say that, he used to tell me in those days, said if there is a law, a case between a rich man and a poor man, no matter the case, I will find the law for the poor man. So he has to find the law.
Because you must support the underdog. That is the thing.
That's your idea. Yes.
Sir, let me put a scenario down. You charge for theft, and there are elements of theft in the law. The law is clear. When you get to court, the question is, you've been charged for theft, and the people that are bringing charges against you, do they have enough evidence to prove that, yeah, you committed theft? And if the elements are clear, sir, you face the music. Yes. If you're charged for murder and the elements are not there, probably the elements are manslaughter, you cannot now say because he went to prison for manslaughter, or then he cannot be charged for theft.
Well, if
the elements are there.
The phone numbers should be on the screen shortly, so those who want to wade in on the Ibori matter can also call in. We have just a few minutes to look at this. Yeah, go ahead.
No, because I was going to the substantive charges. No, you know, the law is very funny. You know, you always say it. It's very funny. It's so malleable. You bend and so to come and rephrase the same charges, and which is why you mentioned it here that yes. Our prosecutorial capacity is so low that when the so-called prosecutors, when they get to court, thinking that they have a case against an accused. It will be so watery, so hollow. And so you will not see that they will now come and rephrase the substantive issue in so many ways. True. And making it look like after all.
Most times that is when they go to court with 150 count charges, you find out that it's being reduced to 3 because they are repeating the same thing over and over again.
Using sophistry.
Thank you.
And maybe there's a desperation to nail him at all costs. Yes. So they keep bringing the same thing over and over again under different guises.
No, the truth is, most of you see the persecution. The prosecution here are actually persecution. They are persecutors. They are not prosecutors. They are persecutors because when they come, it's just to nail you. They are not even working for the government.
Okay, now when Obama was leaving office, he came out with a long list of people that the president gave a pardon, and he said that there were various reasons for them. Either that some of the charges were the sentences were too harsh. In some cases, the cases themselves were not foolproof. In some cases, the law itself was not fair. Yeah. Okay, we have a call. Idris from Kano. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
I think they should not allow the prediction of Faroshe to come to pass. Faroshe said, I have his, what is prediction for year 2017. That Buhari is not going to confirm or not get. And it's coming to pass. Why should it be like that? That is what I want to say.
Well,
why the reason, and one of the reasons is that the government they assured their necks by using some the judiciary officer as a scapegoat. They are now afraid.
We lost him there. Well, that's a matter of prophecy. So I was going to this issue and saying that, is there no way that there could be a state intervention, a council of states, to say, okay, in matters like this, this is where we're going. This man has served 13 years in prison. He was disgraced internationally. Because our own here, some of them don't go past the Nigerian media space. Yes, we have Richard from Lagos. Hello?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. My contribution to this program is that from the look of things, Nigeria, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, from the look of things, it seems that Nigeria is not standing up for anything. From your discussions, as from all the facts and the points you are raising about the Nigerian judiciary, about the way Nigeria is being run today, it's obvious that Nigeria is not standing up for anything. And anyone that does not stand for anything
Will fall for
cannot defend anything. There is nothing we take to court. We hardly can defend even our laws, our constitution. We hardly can defend them. When you hear two lawyers sound on a particular issue, you as a layman, you begin to weary. You begin to worry. So this does not lead us to actuals. And that is why people can do things and go scot-free with them. If we have actuals, that if you take this biscuit, we'll cut off your finger, nobody will violate the laws. But we don't have actuals. We are not standing for anything. And that's why it seems we fall for everything. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I think from the last caller, we'll round off this discussion, and we'll take a short break, and we'll come back and look at my In Touch column titled Bomb Boy. Stay tuned. Okay. The rage of recriminations of ethno-religious bashing that has raised southern Kaduna in recent times has beclouded many from one of the seminal speeches of late. Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima looked the North in the eye, and he did not spare the truth. One of his illuminations came from reference to the words of the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Muhammad Sanusi. Hear him. Quote, he was quoted as saying he was tired of philanthropists regularly expressing readiness to build mosques, whereas the majority of girls were growing and married out without education. The result, of course, being high rise of maternal mortality in northern Nigeria. This bold thinking captures how we have misunderstood our beliefs. The Emir said he has enough mosques, but he has few educated women. This is true of most states in the north. We have many mosques and many churches, but unfortunately, hungry and uneducated worshippers. We have worshippers who don't have basic knowledge of the religion they practice, yet we keep building worship centers as against educating the worshippers, unquote. Lamenting the corrosion of poverty, he unveiled an anecdote about spying and dying. Hear him again, quote, however, at the level of followers and other actors, poverty has made significant influence. For instance, in June 2013, we recorded a good number of extremely poor persons who were recruited for as little as 5,000 naira to either spy on soldiers and report their vulnerability to insurgents. I particularly remember is one Musa Grima, a 13-year-old boy who revealed that he accepted 5,000 naira to set 3 of our primary schools ablaze and also spy on soldiers because his parents relied on him for their feeding, unquote. He is the story of Boko Haram, the story of a failed north, of bad governance that has endured generations, while what the elite has focused on was hegemony. What sense does that make when the boy on the street and the girl hawking one piece of kola nut cannot spell their names? The question of how to address the issue of herdsmen and the clash between them and the other citizens in southern Kaduna naturally follows. Where people are well educated and not fixated on religious fidelity, they are able to cast away bloodshed and hate. If poverty has generated so much bad blood in the north, the currents in other regions are worsening as kidnapping, robberies, and impunity are ominous indicators. There are many Musa Grimas down south. They are ticking bombs of bombs as boys. It is no longer time for vigilance. It is no longer time for vigilance because we can hear them tick. It is time to take action. And that will do it. I thank my guests for coming on today. Ola-Daniels, Gunjowo, thank you very much, and Ogbodo, thank you very much. And until next week, be good.